It's a good question. Because one of the advices given by the Buddha, this advice you can find in Anguttara Nikaya, Sutra Pitaka. But there are some people, when they try to criticize or condemn the Buddhist attitude, stating that Buddhists believe that everything in their life, pleasant and unpleasant experiences, are due to their previous karma. Then the Buddha says you should not believe in that way. It is not true. So all our problems, physical and mental, internal and external difficulties are not due to our previous karma. Certain things are due to our present karmas. Certain things that we have done during the early part of our life, not due to previous karma. Certain things are created by certain external forces, energies, cosmic energies, planetary system, climate, not due to previous karma. Certain things are depend on the condition or the constitution of our physical body, the formation from our childhood, if not from the conception in the mother's womb. We have to experience so many problems, and some are coincident, accidental. You see the way how Buddha has analyzed all these things. Then certainly there are many things that we are experiencing due to our previous karma. This the Buddha has clarified further in Girimananda Sutra, in Parityanting book, or in English, the Book of Protection. You can see what the Buddha has said. When we mention the name of sicknesses, so many kinds of sicknesses that we are suffering today, then he has given the causes, why and how we experience these unpleasant feeling. Then one of the item is called Kamma Vipakaja Abadha. Abadha, the sicknesses that we are facing or suffering. Kamma Vipakaja, created by our own bad karmas that we have committed during our previous birth or within this lifetime. Do you know certain karmas create the effect within this lifetime? Not necessary for us to wait until we die to experience the good and bad effects. It depends on the nature of karma or the mental attitude that we maintain at that time when we commit. So the experience or the result we experience within this lifetime. If not hereafter, that means only in the next birth. But not within this lifetime. If we do not experience the good and bad effect within this lifetime or in the next birth, many of those karmas automatically evaporate, distinguish, or disappear. No effects. Because people still have not studied the real nature of karmas. And some others create the effect as long as we exist in this cycle of birth and death. There is no time limit for this. Certain karmas that we have done, say, few thousand years ago, during one of our previous births, we may experience the effect today within this lifetime. Now when we take, for example, the Buddha's life, and some of those chief disciples of the Buddha who have attained higher stage of sainthood, arahanthood and Buddhahood, even then they had to experience, or they had to pay, in simple language, for what they have done during one of their previous births. So the Buddha had to suffer from 12 kinds of sicknesses during his lifetime. Then he has revealed and explained to his disciple, do you know why I am suffering from this particular sickness? So I have done bad deeds in one of my previous births. Since I have not paid, and this is my final birth, so I am experiencing this. Then the chief disciple, Moggallana, who was very famous for performing miraculous power, supernatural power. So when he was in a cave, certain thieves or some thugs came to attack him, to kill him, instigated by some rival religious groups. So when they tried to attack him, by using his supernatural power, he escaped or disappeared. They could not catch him. Second time also they came. That day also he escaped. Third time also they came. They escaped. Then he wanted to find out why. What is the cause? Then he found out. This is the effects of one of his previous bad karma. He had to face it, no other choice. So that day he did not use his supernatural power, just kept quiet. Then the Buddha has explained to all the other disciples when they asked this question, such a powerful disciple who could manage to perform miraculous power, why had to face untimely death? Then the Buddha said, do you know, during one of his previous births, he was the only son, and his father and mother both were blind. He looked after both of them by devoting his life. He was so attached to them, fulfilled all his duties towards them. Then the father and mother said, now the time has come for you to get married. He said, no, I don't want to get married because I want to look after my father and mother. He said, no, we are not happy about that. You must get married. Somehow or the other, he had to get married. But his wife was not an understanding lady. She could not tolerate the nuisance there, these old blind couples. They have to clean and wash, and they dirty the whole house. So she threatened the husband, if we are not going to get rid of this old couple, I have to go back to my own house. I don't like to stay here in this house anymore. This is the way there are many hundreds of stories how wicked wives mislead their husband. So husband had no other choice. And his strong attachment also faded away because of his wife. He was thinking what to do, how to get rid of this. He cannot kill them. So what he did? He knew that his father has given some money as a loan to some people. They have not returned. So he told, now we are poor. Those people who have taken a loan from you, I know never return. So why not we go and collect this loan from them? So they also agreed. So he arranged a bullock cart, no motor cars at that time. They had to go through a thick jungle. So when they reached the middle of the jungle, this young man said, do you know, here in this jungle there are a lot of thieves. Any moment they may come and attack us. Then what he did? He stopped his bullock cart and started shouting, oh, thieves are coming. When he shouted, the father and mother said, my dear son, we are old and blind. Please try to escape. Don't worry about us. So they advised the son to escape. Then what he did? He started to beat the father and mother, pretending that thieves are beating them. See how wicked, how man can change his mind. So he came back. Poor father and mother died in the jungle. Because of this wicked, evil karma, he had to suffer immediately after his death, but not yet completed. Due to certain other good karmas that he has accumulated, again he had the chance to come out and continue his rebirth one after the other, so until that he has become an arahant. But the hidden karma, the remainder, since it is the final birth, already right, then the other karmas that he has accumulated are not strong enough to protect him. Remember, the Buddhas and Arahantas never accumulate new karmas, either good karma or bad karma, because they don't need. Since there is no rebirth for them, they have nothing to do with good karma or bad karma. They cannot accumulate any karma. They do a lot of good deeds, dedicated their whole life to serve others, but never become karmas, only services. Because of their kindness and compassion, understanding, they serve others. But when we perform some good deeds, we accumulate karmas. Because in our mind we have some sort of craving. Good karmas also we accumulate because of our craving. Because we like to enjoy our life. We like to have a better rebirth. We like to go to heaven and enjoy our life. We like to be healthy. All these are based on craving. That is why we need good karma. People cannot understand this. But in the case of the Buddhas and Arahantas, since they have no such craving in their mind, it is impossible for them to create either good karma or bad karma. We accumulate worldly karmas, means to an end. That means after experiencing, no more. Then we have to accumulate some more throughout our existence. So, this is the nature of karma. Now when we refer to this Girimananda Sutra, what the Buddha says, only certain karmas create our sicknesses, but not all. So we should not think at once, oh, it is due to my bad karma, therefore I must keep quiet. Again he advised, although we had to suffer due to certain karma, by using our full effort or energy, intelligence, we will be able to overcome the bad effect of the karma. So it clearly shows the Buddha did not encourage us to surrender ourselves even to our own karma. We have to fight. We have to fight with our karma. Now many others say, so what to do, it is will of God. We have no voice, we have nothing to do, our duty is to keep quiet. It is up to him. We use this wording actually to console ourselves. Since there is no other choice, we say, so what to do, it is will of God. I leave it to God. So in the same manner, the Buddhists and Hindus and some others say, well, it is due to our karma, that's all. But it's very good, because you can console without creating frustrations and worries and all sort of problems. If you can console your mind, well, what to do, this is due to my karma. But it is not the truth. Only certain aspects. Now take another example. This is a very interesting subject. Those who were born to this world as retarded children, crippled, blind, or mentally retarded, dumb and deaf. So all of us say what to do, that is due to their own karma. So we cannot do anything. This is our way of thinking. But there are some others who could manage to discover certain things to support them and provide facilities for their survival, for them to have a pleasurable life. Although they are suffering due to certain bad karmas, by using some sort of intelligence or effort, we can change, we can overcome the effect of certain bad karmas. Because many other religions that existed in India never given this interpretation. Because their interpretation, when you refer to Hinduism, Jainism and some other isms in India, all of them straightaway surrender. They say we cannot overcome our karma. We have to surrender. The Buddha says, Don't surrender. Fight by using your intelligence and effort and energy. Then you can overcome. Again, see the difference between the Buddhists and others. The attitude, the method that they adopt to overcome or to wash away, to get rid of the karmic effect or the sins. Others believe or preach. If you believe in God and pray and worship, the God will forgive all your sins and bad karmas. And some others say, if we perform certain religious rites and rituals and ceremonies, through these rites and rituals, offerings and worshipping and praying, you can overcome or you can get rid of the effects of bad karma. Some others say, by torturing your physical body, starving, burning, cutting and behaving like animals. You know, there were so many religious groups in India during the Buddha's time who behaved exactly like animals, walking like animals, 4 legs, 2 hands and 2 legs, and walk like cows and dogs. These are the religious vows they have taken. And some others eat and drink just like cows and dogs and cats. Without using hand, they go and eat their food and drink water without using hand, just like animals. And some others completely keep quiet, observe silence without uttering even one word. They believe by observing this, they can wash away all the sins committed by the mouth. By behaving like animals, they believe the sins committed by the physical body, they can wash away. The Buddha has condemned all these methods and attitudes and practices. And he also did not agree, never acknowledged that by praying to anybody, whether God or Buddha or anybody in this world, that you will be able to overcome or get rid of the bad effect. Then the method that he has introduced is very practical, rational, meaningful. What is that? The only method is by doing more and more good deeds, by serving others, the merits or the good karma that you accumulate by performing all the good deeds, not simply by praying and worshipping and burning all those things. This is the practical method. Then we will be able to overcome by increasing the degrees of the karmas that we have accumulated. I think you have heard this well-known American doctor, Dr. Edgar Cayce, in Virginia. If you happen to, I do not know whether you are from America or Australia. Where are you from? Pardon? Oh, I see. Anyway, if you happen to go to America, please visit this place. Edgar Institute are still there. So this man had a very peculiar skin disease. All the skin specialists condemned, saying that this is incurable. Given up. But he was a very intelligent man. He was a doctor. So what he did, he developed his psychic power to get into trance without depending on God or religion. He never used the name of God or religion to get into trance. He never said that God enter into my body to tell me this and that. It is pure psychological. So he developed, then when he got into trance, he found out a medicine. By using this medicine, he completely got cured his skin disease. Condemned by the skin specialist. Now that is why the Buddha said, don't give up hope. Then he thought, why not I use this to help others who are suffering from so-called incurable sicknesses. When this news was spread, so many people started to visit him. Then he get into trance, give them some or prescribe certain medicine. But go and take this, you will be okay. Yes, very effective. But for certain cases, he says, it seems this is incurable. You are suffering from this sickness due to one of the bad karma or the bad deeds that you have committed during your previous birth. And it is a very heavy karma. He did not use the word karma because he had never studied karma. And it is not easy to cure this sickness. This is due to your previous karma. But this man, when he was normal, never talked anything about previous birth or karma. Because he was not a Buddhist. There are so many cases that he has condemned, saying this is due to your previous karma, not easy to cure. And many others were cured. I heard he has recorded 20,000 cases. The book is still available there. The history, the names. This is not a made-up story. So, psychologists, philosophers, great thinkers, when they developed their mind, they make some statement which are compatible, agreeable with the Buddha's teaching. Because they are not theories or belief or mythologies, practical. So when you study the statement made by well-known psychologist Carl Jung, lot of similarities. And another well-known philosopher in Germany, Schopenhauer, he has never studied Buddhism. He has written some books. When his philosophy and the Buddha's teaching, if you can compare, you can see a lot of similarities. So when a person developed his mind, he find out the truth. So the truth is common. Whether it come from the Buddha or another great thinkers, truth is truth. So this is a very practical interpretation given by the Buddha, not to depend on your karma. There may be certain method for you to adapt, to get rid of your problem. By adapting all those methods, if you feel that There is no remedy for your problem. In the end, you can think what to do. This is my bad karma. No other choice. Yes.
Yes, also due to family karma.
Just now I told you how to overcome, how to avoid, how to postpone different kind of karmas, and how we experience the effects within this lifetime, if not hereafter only, if not disappear certain karmas. When other karmas become very strong, minor karmas automatically disappear. No chance. So, we cannot define and we cannot explain by using our own understanding, because karma has its own effect. We cannot, now take for instance, during our lifetime, almost every day, we do good karma or bad karma, both. No one can live even for a few hours without committing either good karma or bad karma. We do not know. Through our mind, every moment when we create jealousy, anger, hatred, enmity, we create bad karma. We never think. And we also do not know when we worry, when we create frustration in our mind, we create bad karma. Because the cause of our worries, the cause of our frustration, disappointments are based on something else. Then, by talking, how many good and bad karmas we create. Again, through our mind, how many good karmas we accumulate. Then, through our action. So, going on accumulating up to the last breath. Then, at that moment, we may think, why worry? Before we die, we try to recall one of our good karma that we have done. So there is nothing for us to worry about the bad karma. Although I have done bad karma, at the dying moment I recall one of my good karma into my mind so that I can have a better rebirth. My dear friend, it doesn't work. It is like this. When you go to bed at night time, think, oh, tonight I am going to have this particular dream. Do you get that dream at that time, at night? Because you cannot create dream in your mind. The dreams come from the subconscious mind, influenced by the subconscious mind. If not certain external forces which are not existing at this moment. So the karma also appears in its own accord. We cannot create purposely at the dying moment. This is the uncertainty of our karma. But there is a chance. If we use our mind to commit or to do either good karma or bad karma as one of our habits in our day-to-day life. Since we have used our mind again and again and again and again and again throughout our life, more chances are there to appear such karma at the dying moment. That is why the practice is important. The mind get used to it. Then the other karmas have no chance to pollute the mind at that time. There are certain habitual, we practice as our habits. Take for instance, every day when you get up, after washing and cleaning, if you are Buddhist, whatever you have, whether flowers or joss sticks or candle or light, if not glass of water, if not, just go and pay homage. Sit down in front of the image. Pay respect. Be humble at that time. If you can recite something, whatever language that you can use, language is immaterial, any language. Contemplate at least for a few minutes. Calm your mind. Now this will become your habit. After some time, as soon as you get up, your mind is directly working with this. This will become your habit. That is why those who have practiced this kind of meritorious deed, at the dying moment, certain indications which appear, signs which appear in their mind before they are dead, they express. Now we can see, or I can see brightness. I can see flower garden. I can see angels. Because angels he create in his own mind. It is not that angel come to take him away. This is the indication which express to make sure that next life will definitely become a very favorable, very pleasant and peaceful existence. And there are some butchers, murderers, who have practiced this as their habit, day-to-day life. And before they are dead, how they behaved, what they have expressed to others. There are many stories. Before they are dead, some of them make voice or shout like pigs or cow make noise. There are many stories. And some others say, now I can see only fire, 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 everywhere fire. If not, some others say darkness, very dark. These are the indication, a very bad indication. Habits. So, although karma is uncertain, so whatever we have practiced as our habits support us, pave the way either to become pleasant or unpleasant. So at the last moment you cannot change. Purposely you cannot change. Yes, coming to 9 o'clock. I think enough. Very good question. So many things we have to discuss.